Okay, in
3.
theory, it
Yeah,
should be
there are
back. I'm
3.
testing it. There's 3. I had so many pop. What the fuck is
There's
going
another
on
one.
with my microphone?
Jumpchain's
It doesn't
cursed.
like you being emotional. It wants to kill your emotions, bro.
What the
Stop having
fuck?
Venus on
Oh
pasta.
god, it's spreading.
What
Stop
the
being
fuck? There
emotional, Sid.
should be no popping in my audio. There should be nothing that could possibly cause a popping in my.
Is
Maybe,
it something
okay.
like it's because your volume is increasing, right? And that's what's I think is causing a pop, or is
Well,
it because he's louder we hear it?
No, it's like my microphone is not like capturing all my audio for some reason. It might be okay. Hold on, maybe. Hold on, if I do this, hold on.
I did stop a few chapters in Corin because I was like, I need to give it a few chapters before I like. But I'll
Okay,
go back
there
to
we
it
go.
again now that I'm reinvigorated again. I'll go back.
I definitely
If
think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm like hearing about it because
there we
I liked listening to the longer on.
Yeah,
go. Okay, maybe.
it's in my opinion a good way to get into One Piece, albeit in a way that like you're not going to get the whole experience of One Piece from a fan fiction, but it's a good way to enjoy the One Piece related content. And genuinely, it was the first time that I read something that made me want to engage with One Piece, and I never would have watched One Piece without reading that. I just think it's really cool.
Okay, so maybe I fixed it. Maybe am I still popping at all? Am I still being just kind of? Is it just being weird or whatever?
I don't hear any popping.
Okay,
Sounds
cool.
good.
I found out the issue. It's my fucking voice meter.
Yeah, that would do it. That would do it.
God motherfucker. Okay, well, I don't know how to fix that, so I'm just using my raw audio, my raw mic for that, and my raw mic for Jumpchains or for OBS. I want to figure that out at some point, but it is at least
My
going
stance is
through
if it works, it works, and we can jump into the session because we're already 30 minutes in.
Yeah, so we're gonna do that now that it doesn't sound like I'm fucking dying at all. God, that pissed me off so much. Where am I? Okay, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of tech issues goes a very long way, unfortunately. But hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. Today, our storyteller is Corin, and we shall be doing the Jumpchain RWBY terminal season. Come on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. Corin, I will let you have the floor.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to RWBY Terminal Season. When last we left off, it was with a little bit of a cliffhanger, but the lead into it was basically some interactions with, let's see, I know that we had that interaction with the knocking on the door with the old hunter that seemed to be looking for help, but ultimately was spurned away, particularly by the folks that did not know the rules for knocking within the Forest of Strav. Information was only provided to you later when you reunited with Honey. However, after reuniting with Honey and hearing about how she speaks of certain creatures, particularly the clowns, as they're known, or some call them mimes, a species of Grimm that she was very adamantly stating they're not the most powerful, but they are one of the most dangerous. And when you speak of the devil, so did it appear right in front of the remainder of the group as you looked across the way as she stared forward, her face turning rapidly pale, at the Grimm with the guise of a clown.
What?
Aw, yeah.
Oh no.
So I suppose the question here is, does anybody want to take immediate action upon sighting the clown? Anything that would preempt anyone else's stuff? Any knee-jerk reactions?
Abyssal cuties.
Okay, then go ahead and make a supernatural roll. Anyone else?
Probably the loading of guns.
Okay. You're
Backing
loading a
off.
gun. Okay, Lynn's
Would
backing
I
off.
remember if any of my special bullets will have done any particular damage, any extra damage to Grimm? I'm assuming fire.
It depends on the Grimm. Generally, fire works well.
Okay.
Katie, do keep in mind that when you're making a supernatural roll to use your semblance, you add a bonus dice.
Yeah. Bonus. Okay, so is that 4 plus 2? Or
Just +1 because your
+1.
semblance is an additional +1.
I'll
is it?
swap out my gravity rounds for my
Okay.
fire rounds.
Yeah,
Remember,
Right.
Sin, your character's at 14 HP.
Mm, yeah. Yeah.
okay.
I am
So
very hurt.
So Hunter is changing out his rounds. Lynn is stepping back. Jackalope is loading his weapons, and Katie is attempting to communicate with Abyssal Cuties.
Yes.
That's about right.
Understood. Lynn, yours is trivial. You automatically pass. You're able to take a few steps back in order to put some space in between you and it, making it so that you are standing a few steps away from the rest of your group. Hunter, you're able to load the weapons you're able to change out the bullets pretty easily, and Jackalope, you similarly are able to get yourself ready and prepared. The clown is looking at the whole group fairly jovially. He looks like he's got a pretty bright overall. He's carrying himself and comporting himself in a very bright manner with exaggerated emotions. Katie, you rolled 2 degrees of success on your dice.
Dang.
Mhm.
You reach out with Abyssal Cuties in order to communicate, and immediately your head it feels slammed full of this symphonic cacophony of music pounding through your entire skull. You successfully
like-
reach in and communicate. Sorry, go ahead.
So was this like in a good way or a bad way?
In an overwhelming way. It's not inherently good. It's not inherently bad. It's a lot with a capital L.
It's like rave stuff. Yeah.
Yes, it's pounding in your head, and it's very focused on brass and instrumentation, and it's got a classic circus vibe.
Mm-hmm.
How does Katie react to this?
If Katie knew what the Magnus Archives, archives was, I think she'd be having like a really good time. But I think Katie's kind of for it. Like this isn't usually like her vibe. Like they don't play this. I don't know how much music she would often hear in the SCP Foundation, but she's like, yeah, no, I can vibe with this.
Okay. It is painfully loud.
Yeah.
So the clown will look across the entire group, and the face is very much one of those drama masks, that the ones that are traditionally like half smiling, half crying, but in this case it's all smiles. As he brings his hands together in a firm clap, and then pulls it apart with a rod, a sort of cane-like rod appearing between it. As he twirls it around and taps it against his ear, and immediately everything is silent. Katie, you hear nothing. All of you cannot hear the sound of nature. You can't hear anything. As it taps its cane against the ground, and that is the only thing in the world you can hear. Before it sets that cane down, just enough for it to rest its hand on top of it, strike a pose, and look at the rest of you.
Was it some
Uncomfortable.
mime?
Oh.
Honey looks to the rest of the group, and her lips move, but no sound comes out. As you can, I'm assuming everyone here is good enough at looking that when she's purposefully over enunciating, you can read her lips. Or would anybody
Yeah.
think that they're not used
Hunter
to that?
would not be able to. He's not
Right.
been around people
You
for
don't-
long enough.
That is a good point.
Given where Jackalope spent a good chunk of his life, where you probably couldn't hear people, he'd
Yes.
be used to doing that.
Absolutely. Lynn, what's your experience with trying to read lips?
Oh man, I'd almost want to say if it was 4, it might be because of her socialite teachings about what people's body language and what they're trying to mean in a for like socialite training.
Okay.
Maybe she'd know how to do that.
I could accept it. Would you like to take that as it's at face, or would you like to roll for whether or not you know it?
I
Which
think
would you
she
prefer?
should know it since she's quite studious and she would have
Okay.
focused on that.
And
people.
Katie, how would you know it? Because I know you spent more time with SCPs than you did people.
Yeah, 'cause at least 50% of them don't have mouths. I'm gonna roll for this.
Okay, go ahead and make me a roll with 2d6.
2d6. 2d6.
You can do it.
Yeah.
One
That is
last time.
That is 0 degrees of success.
Yeah.
You can't quite make out what. So neither Hunter nor Katie are able to read the lips, while both Lynn and Jack are able to clearly make out that she is saying, "Play along." She repeats it twice. before turning her attention back to the clown. It seems, based on her body language, that she is afraid, though it rapidly tightens up and the sight of fear rapidly fades as she seems to school her expression and chill out.
Okay. She
Now I'm
chills
going to
out.
be I'm going to be using the previous turn order in order to establish how things are going. This isn't exactly a combat encounter unless you choose to make it one. We're going to start with Hunter. Hunter, you don't know what's going on. But it does seem that the clown's eyes shift towards you first. Mirth and interest clearly sparking through it as he raises his cane and points to you. What do you do?
Well, that's slightly concerning. Um, Hunter's the kind of person where he's patient. He's someone who spent a lot of time learning to wait. And looking around the other people, everyone's kind of cocked and ready, but no one's actively moving, nor is Honey. And Honey arguably has the most experience with this creature. Although he can't understand her, he would be trying to follow her lead, as he often has for several of the other party members in the past. So he's going to, holding his gun, he's gonna like look at Honey and kind of move into a ready stance, more or less, and then just wait for her to move.
You wait for several seconds. She doesn't move. And as you hold there, 2 seconds, 3 seconds pass, and the clown rolls his eyes. He brings his hands together and first uses his finger to draw a small circle before he grabs onto it and mimes the action of swinging something over his head before throwing it out. A sharp pull later, and you can feel an invisible rope tighten around your neck as you're then sharply pulled towards it.
He's gonna like probably stumble a little bit towards him, and then he's gonna like look at the mime, and he's gonna like reach into like on his like on his belt area. He's gonna like move his jacket back and reach down into what's effectively an invisible bag before pulling out something. And he's gonna make like scissor motions with his fingers and just kind of like start scissoring through the rope.
It looks genuinely surprised as you go through this before the tightness around your neck loosens up as you cut through it. It immediately hops up and down excitedly in an over-exaggerated motion and immediately reaches out to give you a handshake.
I mean, sure, Hunters don't look slightly confused, but he's gonna kind of put the scissors back in the invisible bag and reach out and just kind of shake it.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a roll of your endurance.
That's what he's good at. This is his fucking domain.
You can do it.
That'd be 3 dice. Jesus Christ.
No successes, but that's no degrees of failure either. That is specifically for keeping your stomach down. As everyone watches as Hunter completely disappears the moment that the hand is shaken.
Ugh. Okay.
We will cover where you just went in a minute. For now, it then turns and looks around the rest of the group. Yeah, let's see.
Katie just kind of like raises her hand emphatically. It's just like silent. She's like she's trying to shout, but like she can't. Like obviously there's no sound coming out, but she's just like me next, me next, me next.
It looks around the group. It looks towards Katie with a wide smile, and immediately pivots towards Wally. Towards Jackalope, I should say.
There is despair in Katie's eyes.
Given what Jack knows and what Hunter just did, Jack's gonna mimic holding a coin.
He the Grim pauses and brings his hand to his chest almost in a surprised motion before giving a very emphatic nod.
Jack's gonna act like he's flipping the coin and hold up a 1 and a 2 before mimicking clapping the coin to his arm. What does it choose?
The clown taps its lip once, twice, thrice, before nodding once and holding up a single finger that splits in half into two.
Jack's gonna hold up the fake coin. I'm gonna roll a 1d2.
Okay.
It was 2. Jack will play along with his game.
The clown taps the ground with its cane multiple times in joy before nodding once. It then proceeds to extend its hand to you for a handshake, just as it did with Hunter.
And Jack will take it.
You disappear as well.
He's got to go figure out where Hunter went.
The cane raises, and he seems to think about who next for a moment.
Oh, my heart
Katie,
beating
how,
raise
so,
her hand.
Katie, how excited do you look, Katie?
Like, extremely excited. Like, come on, it's a 50-50 chance.
He slowly points his cane towards Katie before sharply turning it to Lynn.
Oh, my heart. Oh my gosh. Like-
His body shakes in a few small laughs before turning it back to Katie.
Oh, like an exaggerate. Oh,
Ah!
guys out.
Katie begins to break dance. She has no idea what's happening, actually. I don't think she really knows what a mime is. Like, she vaguely knows. Like, she's heard about it. But, I mean, like, considering. She just starts breakdancing.
Okay. The clown carefully watches what you're doing before nodding seemingly in understanding. And then brings the cane down to smack against the ground as you suddenly feel the ground underneath you flatten out completely to make it a much better dance spot.
Heck yeah.
Dance
This is everything. This is
Go ahead and
the
make me a
perfect grandma
dexterity
interaction.
roll. I need to know just how well you're dancing.
All right.
Yeah, I love the idea. This guy's just doing the friggin'
Ooh.
Guardians of the Galaxy dance off with you.
Yeah.
That's no degree of success as it looks over you and it stops before it brings its cane down, and immediately you seem you're locked, frozen in position, mid dance move as you look towards him. He taps on the ground once, and there's a very soft sound. Twice, a firmer, 3 times, and it's now as loud as normal, but still the only sound in the world. Before he brings his heel down, and it taps. Rhythmic 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, as he then proceeds to start tapping his cane and his heels against the ground, and then lets you resume your dance. You're expected to keep time with his tapping here.
Okay.
With 0 successes, you're not looking so good. Do you have any
Oh,
methodologies for?
Can I please go in and do a classical ballroom dancer and go and dance with her, and I take the lead?
Oh, that would. You like? Is Katie willing to work with you on that?
Fucking Lynn
Yes.
immediately just goes,
Yes.
I know how
I
to
go
do
in,
this shit.
She, with her ballroom understanding, she goes in with a fearful pounding in her heart, but her face doesn't show it from her socialite training. She goes and twirls around and grabs Katie's hand lightly around the waist, but not touching as they should, and takes the lead with the dance.
Katie does not know how to ballroom dance, but she has the passion to vaguely understand the rhythm you're going for.
Okay. Whoever has the higher dexterity, I would like you to make the roll with 1 bonus dice.
Could also use my charm too.
Well, whichever's higher. Which is higher, Katie's dexterity or your charm?
I guess my charm's only a 2, but I have a 4.
I have 4 ticks of dexterity.
Okay, go ahead. Someone make a roll of 4d6 plus 1d6. You have a pretty good chance of succeeding at this.
Do you want to, Katie?
I think I vaguely. Wait, hold on.
I sent you the
just
code,
use my
right?
I can just use my abyssal cuties modifier for that, basically.
Yeah. I sent you the macro.
Oh,
right?
whoa!
Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's a critical success.
Oh, boy.
Man.
Heck yeah!
With a critical success, not only is Lynn just incredibly good at this, trained by professionals in order to be able to dance as a lady. Katie, you're fairly confident that whatever it is you're doing, you intellectually know what a ballroom dance is. What you're fairly confident is that most of the time people don't exaggerate with flourishes that cause actual glitter to burst off their body in little starburst patterns.
Oh my
However,
gosh.
it succeeds for you as little bits of glitter pop off as if exaggerating each of your motions. And you can hear, alongside that metronomic stepping, the rapid clapping from the clown.
Oh man.
I'm just imagining like it finishes off with like a super impressive like pose. It's just like an explosion of glitter.
As I finish, I'm like the lead, so I take the male stance, and I let you kind of do like the whole hold her up and everything. And we like I lift you back up, and we stop in front, and I do curtsy, and I lead you in to do like a little bow.
Mhm.
The clown seems very, very entertained. As he looks at his two hands, seems to measure and weigh them before extending them both out to the two of you.
I'm gonna look real fast back at Honey, but
Honey is keeping a very acutely neutral expression right now.
I will go with Katie's lead.
I'll shake the guy's hand, just like super excitedly, like yes.
Bouncy, bouncy, bounce.
The both of
Oh,
you reach out and you touch the hand, and you see what both of your teammates saw before you. You see the sight of this almost brick-like pattern along the walls, sort of like a wallpaper, but it's stretched and distorted, especially as you see it rapidly moving past you as you clearly begin to fall. You can feel the feeling in your stomach as gravity completely upends and you start falling down, down, deeper down to a place where the light does not reach. You both touch down in darkness, and that is the same thing that both Jack and Hunter would have seen, though Hunter would have seen it first. Would there have been anything that you did in this darkness before anyone else arrived?
He can't see anything, right?
Correct. The whole world around you is engulfed in unnatural shadow. You
Shadow
can't
and
make out anything.
silence?
You can hear yourself just fine.
Okay, he's gonna close his eyes then and essentially full focus on seeing if he can hear anything around him.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception roll, which is what you're doing as Jack. You end up falling down as well. The sight of the darkness rapidly swallowing the red
Nope.
textured bricks as you begin to reach the ground. Notably, just like Hunter before you, you don't hit the ground hard. It's abnormally soft, your landing, as though gravity softened up just before you hit the ground. Is there anything that you do the moment that you see Hunter before anything else?
Whistle.
You can hear your own whistle just as Hunter hears your sound. You do both have a moment to interact for a moment, given the fact that there's an entire ballroom dance taking place between the time that you arrive and the others do.
With his eyes closed, he's going to like kind of turn his head slightly to Jackalope and go, "Clown got you too."
To be fair, I flipped a coin. I lost. Fair is fair.
Fair enough.
So, can you use your semblance in here?
Good question. I'm going to open my eyes and hold out my hand, trying to form a small, I suppose, sphere of hexagonal light.
Okay, that is trivially easy, so I won't make you roll unless you want to.
Nah.
Cool. You are just able to create the light. It clearly casts light onto you, but it doesn't illuminate the shadowed surroundings.
Do you see it?
Yep. Coming over. Jackalope walks over to him.
Okay.
Not sure we should have taken that hand. Oh well, I lost the game. Fair is fair.
It was interesting. Can Jackalope
I
see my
think-
light?
He is able to see the light clearly.
Okay, cool.
You're both able to see each other as if you were brightly illuminated, but in the description, it's like the entire world around you is just textured with shadow, completely flat and blank. And
Hmm.
Hmm.
I don't. You see Jackalope like kind of pull off his like gauntlet. Check his like tablet. We should see Katie in less than a minute.
Oh, how do you figure?
Before he is able to answer that incredibly obvious question, you, Katie and Lynn, both of you are rapidly descending towards the ground. How do you choose to react?
Uh, I'm trying to grab hold of Katie. I'm freaking out a little bit.
Okay, and Katie, how are
Take her
you
hand.
feeling about this?
Awesome. I do a flip.
Okay. As you do a flip, which
Dragging
makes it
Lynn with
even
you.
harder for Lynn to grab onto you, before you both end up landing with it very, very softly as those before you did, and you can see both of your teammates standing nearby.
Woo! Heck yeah! Let's freaking go! Oh, it was oh, it feels so good to talk again. Oh my gosh, yes!
Well, you were
Like
correct.
that, I'm missing the silence. We were told to play along, by the way, so.
That's
Well,
what she said.
me and Lene over here, we totally did. We did this freaking awesome like dance. I did like a break dance, and then like the guy looked at me, and then Lene she like came in. We did this freaking awesome ballroom dance type thing. It was super fancy, and there was glitter, and it was cool. And the guy shook our hands, and Honey was weirdly neutral the whole time. And then I shook the hands, and we come down here, and then I did a flip.
No, that does sum it up.
The
Was not
darkness
expecting you to
behind
do
you
that.
suddenly splits open, and you see something. In fact, it is an image as though from a television, and it shows the area outside. It shows Honey, and it shows the clown. The clown immediately strides forward and looks over Honey. She opens her mouth as if to say something, but it just raises up its cane. And all of you can hear, only in the confines of the darkness, "Naughty, naughty. You know too much." The cane swings forward and bonks lightly against her head, and she disappears. She does not appear with the rest of you.
No, you can talk. What the
Ah!
heck?
Welcome, friends. You hear enunciate from behind you. The clown slowly turns toward the screen, snaps his finger, and it disappears as a bright spotlight shines down in the area behind all of you.
Hi, bestie.
Welcome to... He spreads his arms out, the spotlight rapidly expanding to cover the entirety of the area. The Big Top. Interesting. He specifically seems to look at Katie as he seems to focus for a bit.
Hi. Did I do good?
Lovely, darling.
Yay! You talk? But I probably should have asked that first. You talk?
He moves his hand around to gesture to the area. I do now.
Oh. Oh, if
You
I
are.
like a bit if I use my semblance thing, does that mean like you like double talk and it'd be like weird and layered? I
No,
wanna do that.
you see, you used that semblance of yours. Abyssal Cuties, I think it's called,
Yeah.
inside of your head. I can
Yeah.
hear it, like whispers in the darkness. I'm awake
can-
now.
Oh. Did you have a good nap?
Oh, you know what they say. He slowly bends his neck, and you hear a couple of pops and cracks before he then uses his thumb to turn it the rest of the way, causing it to spin 360 before he stops it.
Oh, I wish I could do that.
Sleep too long, you get a bit of a creak in the neck. You're a scientist. That's why all of these thoughts are tumbling through my head, surging. I wasn't awake before, now I am, and frankly speaking, I have to ask, how would you like repayment?
Are you gonna dance? What?
Oh, pish, I don't need to. As you notice his feet start moving, seemingly unconnected to that, as they start to do a short river dance. I'm just simply not. I'm too serious, too elegant, too. He looks down. Oh, hush you, as they stop.
my gosh.
You have an interesting idea of what I am. You come in with preconceived notions, identity, existence. He points to Hunter. You don't know, really. You know very little about clowns, mimes. What is it you think I am?
I suppose the word I would use would be jester, an entertainer.
Yes. There we go. And you? He looks to Jack. I don't know what to read from you. It's hard to read what your idea is. I get the feeling you didn't spend much time with clowns. Of this sort, at least.
Just an eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
I
Now that
attempt to
I'm awake.
Oh,
Hmm?
sorry.
Go ahead.
I attempt to think the entire B movie script just to see if he can read it.
Hmm.
Love the idea that
Gravity.
Katie memorized the entire B movie script.
That is
Of
entirely
course
in
I
character.
did.
You like jazz? Yeah, oh my gosh.
You're like jazz kid.
Keep thinking like that and you'll ruin yogurt night, young lady. Now,
I like this guy.
I'm currently grappling with the dichotomy of existence and trying to understand the exact complexities of a moral and conscious existence within the confines of Strav. So I have to ask, why exactly did you wake me up?
We woke you up.
I don't think we
Yeah,
did it on
well,
purpose.
those ones didn't. You did. You reached out and you tickled my mind just a tad, just enough to stir, and then injected all of these thoughts and ideas. Why? Why did you wake me up? Katie Henderson?
What, that was me? How did I do that? Oh, was it when I used my thing on you to try and get a vibe check?
Almost
Oh,
certainly.
sorry
You're
about that, man.
you're an interesting one. Something about you is maybe it's just the fact that we are, uh all of you suddenly hear the sound change the direction. He disappears from where he is, and instead his voice comes from the back of Katie's head. He's like, two peas in a pod.
That tickles.
Aw.
We're similar creatures, you and I, aren't we? Only
That's what
you've been
I've been
awake
trying to
longer.
tell Miss Honey. Oh, yeah.
You've been awake longer than I have.
Oh.
How do you do it?
Caffeine?
No, I can hear it. You don't understand what I mean. You, jackalope.
Oh,
How do you... You're a conscious thinking entity. How can you stand it?
What do you mean?
The voice, the inner monologue, the ideas, the thinking. You seem like the sort who once was little more than beast, following orders, protecting yourself, doing what you had to survive, and now here you are, you're making decisions of your own. You're in control now. I'm in control. I don't like it. I don't like being conscious. I don't like thinking. I miss the silence already. It's been seconds, and I miss the silence already. How do you handle this?
Simple. I do the first thing that comes to mind. I focus on that. I drown out everything else with a melody. Whether that's gunfire, the clanking of my own footsteps, or the walking of metallic clangs of my arms. I simply just stop caring.
The first thing that comes to the mind and drown it out with a melody. Let's try it. Immediately, the sound of the slamming cane hits the ground, and you hear music begin to turn up. It's a very classic clown song, the exact one you're likely all thinking of. Begins to ring out as he looks towards the rest of you, standing atop a elevated red and white platform. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is simple. Would you like to play a game?
Yes.
Hunter reaches into his coat pocket and pulls out a flask. Slowly takes a small drink from it, puts it back, and just goes, "Sure."
I haven't played a game since I got in this world, like a proper actual game. Oh, this is gonna be great.
I lost a coin flip, didn't I?
What exactly do you
mercy.
mean by game, though?
I heard from 3, not 4. As he points to Lynn, clearly interested in your reaction.
Oh, her hesitant look around the just kind of. There's something in her eyes where she'd heard, the same thing, consciousness and the hesitance that she thinks about. But sure, we can play.
Excellent. Okay, and let's see. What is your... Let's see, I need... This needs to be 1. Katie, what's your speed? And can you roll it for me?
My speed is 3 ticks.
There's the sound of a ringing gunshot from the end of the cane as it points. Katie, you did not outroll.
Oh,
Oh
As
no.
the jester lets out a short tinkling laugh, he says, "The game is simple." He points to the blossoming scarlet in Katie's stomach.
ow,
Survive.
ow. Okay, that kind of game,
6 points of
huh?
damage.
Jesus.
I wanted to play Monopoly.
Can Hunter respawn?
Absolutely. According to the well, actually, no. Everyone's going to roll speed, and then we're going to use the thing for initiative.
I have 0 speed. Wow.
Okay, that's really bad.
The answer is no. You cannot respond.
We were all taking
Okay.
it back, huh?
Katie, you're also going to need to roll for it.
Oh,
This it's a separate speed roll.
separate speed roll. Okay.
Yeah, that earlier one was to
Jesus
dodge.
Christ,
Okay.
Katie.
Yeah.
Woo!
No.
I know how to play video games.
Well, apparently this jester knows how to play a little bit
Oh
better than you
my
do.
god.
Dang.
Oh, oh my god.
RNG.
Okay. Hunter, you are clearly going last by a country mile. Jack, yours is slightly better than Lynn's. So technically, that's the numbers. Okay. The first one to move, and honestly, I'm actually going to count it's shooting you in the stomach as its first move.
That's fair.
Oh,
Because I
how
feel like
gracious.
that's pretty accurate. It decided to shoot you in the stomach and then see how you're going to react, which is exactly why it's now your move.
Wait, whose move is it?
Yours.
Katie Henderson's.
Oh, okay. All right. She is going to she's gonna flip and use Senor Nyarlathotep, fully automatic, just shoot the guy. That's so rude, you know?
Okie doke. Well, firstly, I'm going to post that for the health. You just took 6 points of damage, so you're reduced to 24. And go ahead and make me a dex roll.
Okay, Dex roll. Dex roll is 4 ticks. Boop. Oh, that's
Okay,
pretty
2
good.
degrees of success versus 1 degree of success. You are able to shoot. Senor Narlethishab fires into him, and several holes get punched through his body as confetti explodes out behind him. And he looks nonetheless... Well, he doesn't necessarily look fine. But let's go ahead and do the... Of course, that's going to be wrong. we go.
Monopoly, Clue, Shoots and Ladders. These were all good, viable options.
He looks down and pats himself down, slips his fingers into the bullet wounds and just pops the bullets out onto the ground. Let's keep it cute, huh? That he swirls his finger around as if to say, "Get on with it." Do you want to use a secondary action with something like your semblance or anything?
um, how much? Oh, yes, yes. I'm gonna make. Can I make a like one or more like honey badgers or something?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make me a supernatural roll with your semblance bonus.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that was 4 and 1. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that's
Okay.
okay.
Well, your bonus dice replaces your one. Let's see. Yeah, because I plan on. No, it doesn't replace because that's a different system.
Thought you had it last time.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, sure. Then I'll go with it. Because I've been making changes to the system overall, and
Hmm.
okay. So your bonus dice supplants it. You have the 6 and the 5. That's 2 degrees
Ooh.
of success.
Nice.
You are able to create a pair of honey badgers as they rise up. Rather than being formed from your own body, they actually rise up from the ground beneath you, which itself seems to be formed from the same grim fluid that makes up all of them. It seems that this place is just as much a construct as anything else.
We're in my territory now.
Oh, are we? At that, he just turns his eyes to look at Jack.
Hmm.
Mm.
First off, Jack's going to experiment.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
fancy.
you're pretty far from college, but go ahead and give it a try.
So we're inside this room. He's obviously manipulating the room.
Mhm.
I'm not going to actively actually fire at him. I'm going to mimic a gun.
Okay, like
Oh.
finger gun?
Yeah. Point it his direction and make the motion and the sound with my mouth of firing.
That,
Okay. Go ahead and... Yeah, go ahead and make me a dex roll with a bonus dice.
Roll for how
Oh.
good your gun impression is.
Okay, well, that
Oh,
too,
wow.
because it's a bonus dice, replaces one of your ones. So that actually balances into a total of a positive 1. You have 1 degree of success from that.
Hmm.
Very nice.
Go ahead and make a 1d6 damage roll. There's no negative penalty. It scrapes across the side of his face as he looks amused, but it dealt more damage than the actual bullets did.
Jack-o'-lantern like puts his hand to his mouth and he like starts like rocking back and forth from his toes to his heels. Okay, I'll play this game.
You're a quick learn. A quick study, that's the term. I'll have to get used to this. He proceeds to then roll his neck around a little bit as Lynn, it's your opportunity to move.
that was pretty smart. That was pretty smart. I didn't think about that yet. I was trying to think of a workaround to not have to fight, but I really liked that. That was cool. Good job.
Ah.
Um, she is gonna go ahead and she's gonna try to mime patting a wall in front of her, but she has her also hand to the side so that she can kind of lean around it. You know what she's saying? So she pats in front of her and then she
Mhm.
pat to the side.
Okay.
So at least there's a wall there. And
The jester looks amusedly at you, and after a moment, you feel your
I
hands
don't know.
touch cool stone,
Oh
even
dang.
though it doesn't seem to be there.
Oh cool. I just needed some cover.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and mimic holding a snipe my little rifle, I guess. Um, and take a shot behind the cover.
Okie doke. Go ahead and make me a dex roll for your aim.
Ooh.
That's a degree of success. Let's see if he outrolls it says rolling the dice. There we go. And that balances out to a net 0, so you do succeed. With your mimicked gun motions, you end up firing. Do you make the noises with your mouth?
Yes, she says, after hearing Jack, she kind of like stutters a little. It's like, but bang, bang.
Okay. A hole rips through the side of his shoulder, and go ahead and make me a roll for damage, 1d6.
That was a lot of damage.
Okay.
And then
3
she'll
points of
kind of go
damage.
back around the wall.
Hmm. You're good at playing along, all of you. Hunter, as he says that, it is your opportunity to make a move.
Hunter is gonna like look at the rest of his group. He's gonna take his gun and he's just gonna slam it into the ground, so it's just stick there basically. And he's gonna look at this guy, and he's going to like reach behind his back and mimic pulling out like a really his fucking long ass sniper, and he's gonna like put it down with like some weight to it, and he's gonna line up and he's gonna like open up like kind of like the chamber of it because he's so used to doing it with his own gun. He's gonna open up. He's gonna look at his hand as if it was empty, as if it was a cartridge, and he's gonna like mimic writing like a fire icon on it or so, and just kind of slapping in there. And it's like some big, but like it's a thick cartridge that he's like slamming in there. He's like pushing, and it's like
Just
he's
fire
mimicking
the
the weight
goddamn
to
gun,
it.
red guy.
it's like
Jump.
in there, and he lines up.
Oh,
and he,
she has no eye for theatrics.
I know. Hunter like lines up and he goes, bang! As he like fires it, his entire body like rocks backwards from the floor.
So firstly, that is not a line I ever expected to say about Katie of all people. Secondly, you're putting so much effort into that description, stuff like that. Go ahead and make me roll. Like if it hits, it's going to be 2d6 damage. But for now, I need you to make a dex roll.
Okay,
Good
just
luck.
46.
I just like to think that if it was anyone else, Katie would not have like done that. But it's just like she's so sick and tired of his gun.
She's got a
Once
vendetta.
again, it's a net 1 versus a net 0. You're able to land the shot. Make me the roll of 2d6.
Oh.
8 points of damage. It slams into the stomach, a clear ripple of force emanating out as the entire body shakes as though made of gelatin, before he seems to heave a little bit, and then spit out an anti-tank shell from out of his mouth onto the ground.
The fire icon do anything?
Unfortunately, it does not seem to have immediately, but you do clearly see that there's a fire icon written on it. He's like, oh. That's what you get for eating spicy, isn't it?
He's just to like stand up, and he's gonna like mimic like cocking, like not cocking, shelling as if it was a hunting rifle, and like
Yeah,
kinda shelling
you're
the
pulling
thing.
it back in order to eject the shell.
Yeah, and he's like,
Or I guess
That's
casing.
what-
Anyway.
and he's just gonna be like, and that is how you take down a beast.
Really? I thought you did that like this. He's going to snap his fingers and make a dex roll real quick.
Okay, this is gonna be really funny.
A beast? He's been so nice. Except for shooting Katie.
Oh,
Oh.
One sec. That didn't roll the additional 1d6. So that's I need. It's almost certainly
Oh,
No.
4 degrees of success.
Oh no.
Now,
Oh no.
here's the thing. If it had been only 3, then it would have been a difference of 2. But that's a critical difference right
Yeah,
here.
he ain't standing back up.
You're immediately pulled down to the ground as your entire body gets cinched tight into ropes. As he rolls his shoulders, and immediately as he rolls his shoulder back, it splits off from him, and another vert copy of him pops into, slides out of his body. He rolls the second shoulder, And it happens again as he's now flanked by 2 copies of himself.
Spoopy.
Oh no.
Hmm.
There we go. That is what the new turn order looks like.
Oof.
Oh,
Legendary
no.
reactions. Oh no.
And
Okay.
as he looks over, he's like, "You all seem to be very astute. You're picking up on the rules very quickly. Very interesting. But this isn't quite how it's going to go." He reaches over and he grabs onto the shoulder of one of his new clones, and you watch it rapidly take shape into something else, something different, something that none of you, sans one, recognize. Like the skin begins to slough off the creature as its body seems to warp and reshape. Bone rapidly begins to protrude from it, and you can see old, rotted skin, moss hanging off of it. And the bone structure seems almost lizard-like.
Mhm.
Katie, you would recognize a hard to destroy reptile anywhere.
Oh no.
He looks very smugly at Katie and says very simply, "Darling, I lived in your head." The other, he simply taps on the shoulder as it rapidly begins to grow taller, its face going gaunt and jaw distending. Long, gangly white limbs hang down, and you recognize, well, you know what's coming immediately. Do you look away?
Yes.
Good. You don't want to get a good look at this thing's face.
Yeah.
It seems to
Oh
actively be
no.
pulling things from inside of your own head as creatures for you to fight.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Katie, why? The arsenal they have.
Oh jeez. Radical Larry better not show up here.
Oh no,
Radical
not
Larry.
The jester takes a step back and adjusts the mask on his face before pulling it forward and pulling another copy of himself out.
That
But
was not a suggestion.
this one, he simply holds in place for a moment before tilting his head over. He's like, "Oh, I don't plan on pulling that one. I just thought it'd be more interesting if you had a bit of an incentive to hurry up." As his
Yeah,
fingers trace along the mask, and you can see feathers slowly begin to grow out of the body of the creature. And as he lets out a low whistle, you see that the feathers shake in excitement as they absorb the sounds, the vibrations, and it starts to slowly grow bigger. Do you recognize the SCP, Katie?
I think I do. I'm not sure. I was looking up. Sorry, I had to take a moment to look up containment procedures.
Well, don't worry. You're probably going to need to think about containment is a little bit tough for this last one, considering the fact that Henderson is at least going to recognize the Cater class SCP that is the angel wings that really love sound and torture those that it
Oh,
captures.
oh
So
no.
this is a Cater class that he's slowly starting to raise up in order to put you all on a time limit. But him summoning his
Oh,
clones takes his entire turn. Katie, you know the ones in front of you. You know the tall man that you can't see the face of or he'll try and kill you. You know the hard to destroy reptile is a very fitting title for the creature across from you, and you know that this angel is not something you want to let survive. How do you proceed?
Mm-hmm. Well, first I'm gonna shout out. Don't look at the tall guy. Just don't. Just don't do it.
okay.
All right.
Okay. Uh, I don't. I kind of I kind of have an idea for the reptile. Um, I don't know about the angel wings. Is that something? Okay, what else do I know about the angel thing? Like, can I
Uh,
shoot it with gun?
you know that SCP-469 is it takes sound particularly, but more importantly than that, firstly, anytime that it hears sound, it heals itself. It gains more wings and more feathers that absorbs more sound, and it gets stronger whenever you make sounds. You can hypothetically deal damage to it, but the only problem is the only way to deal damage is going to conduct energy into it. You know that it's labeled as cater in the sense that it's constrained only because they have not found a way to destroy it yet with all of the resources available to the Foundation.
Yeah. Okay, so
But it's not made yet, right? It's in the making.
It is in the
That's the time
process of
limit.
creation.
okay. All right, so I'm just gonna like point to like the things to just see like it's like don't look at that guy's face. The lizard's invulnerable, and the angel wing absorbs sound, so I'm gonna stop talking now. And then I am going to attempt to invisibly sculpt a large jar.
Okay. That's in order to do that feasibly, making the hand motions is easy. I'm going to say that's trivial, but moving fast enough, I'm going to say that you need to make a speed roll to do that.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna make a large jar, and then I'm going to invisibly fill it with hydrochloric acid.
I don't know how you're going to convey the fact that it's hydrochloric acid, but go ahead and make your speed roll.
Okay. Speed roll. That is not a good
That's a
speed
negative
roll.
2.
That is a
If
horrible speed roll.
if you want to do this, it is going to take multiple rounds while being attacked, to be clear.
Maybe a different idea?
You are fully aware of the fact that if you try to do this, it's going to take a while for you to make a jar big enough to hold the lizard.
Okay.
Maybe there's a different way to do it. Like, you can. Oh, can I even make concessions? Can I? Can I
I
make
have no issue with
suggestions
it.
or no?
Go
Oh,
for
okay.
it.
Yeah.
In my turn, I was gonna fake that there was a rope in front of me and pull it, and there was an anvil above their head. What if you do that with a cage or something and let it fall on them?
Oh.
Like you
That could
drop in the rope, the
theoretically work.
cage was already up there.
Yeah? I think that could work. But would I have to convey that there is a cage there, though?
Yes, you'd have to like mime out. Yeah,
Like Looney Tunes style.
yeah, and exaggerate everything.
Okay, so I'm going to channel the power of Wile E. Coyote. Was it Wile? Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Mhm.
I know my references. Yeah, and I could. Yeah, so. It's like I can try to. But would constructing the cage itself take time? Because I can't just like pull the rope, right?
No, I was thinking of like drawing it kind of, or like
Oh.
mimicking that it's up there and being surprised, and then having like showing like in your hand motions that there's a cage or something, and like faking, it's going to drop, but without saying anything, and then pulling the rope.
Yeah. So okay. So I can.
Maybe I'm
I
saying
can
too much.
draw.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's okay. So I kind of like draw out like the grid line things. It's like, oh, this is a cage, and then I like take a invisible like large hammer and slam it against it to show that it's like super stable, and then I hook it up to an invisible like zip line thing, just like whoop, 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 and then I like pull the lever thing, and then just.
That's a lot of steps involved. Are you sure you're able to do it all fast enough? In this case, it's more about dexterity than it is just about speed, though. If
Yeah.
if you're willing to make a dexterity roll, we can use that. It's just,
de-
as a heads up, you're gonna have to accept whatever outcome you get.
Yeah. My dex is pretty high. If there's any stat I trust, it's my dex and my supernatural.
We tried our best. We can always try next turn.
Okay.
2 degrees.
Oh, good job, good job.
2 degrees of success end up occurring. Okay.
Yes, the power of teamwork. Good job, good job.
Woo! Heck yeah.
Woo!
Just
Yeah, as
imagine you make a
you
flip. Mhm.
you know, as you're miming a fair amount of this stuff, you can hear the clown give a short chuckle. He looks up, then down. He shrugs. Doesn't stop you, just continuing to whistle into the angel feathers. You're able to succeed. Any attempts to stop it? Nothing. You're good.
Okay.
It's on the lizard or on the guy? Where'd you put it?
I think this is on the lizard because we can't kill the lizard. Or
Okay.
at least Katie thinks we can't kill the lizard. Katie's very sure we can't kill the lizard.
Oh,
As the cage slams down, you can hear an echoing snap as well to accompany it, and immediately the cage becomes fully visible, and it seems to be made of hewn stone around the lizard.
nice, nice. It's something.
It occurs to me that's not going to convey who's what, will it? So I'm going to hit add turn technically, and I'm going to move that up in order to convey that that is in fact the lizard. And one of these days I'm going to figure out a good way to use placeholder tokens. But for now, the tall man is going to be represented by the former swordsman. But for now, it is the lizard's turn as it surges forward and slams against the stone. It seems interested in breaking through, but at the very least, it isn't particularly large yet. It seems to have been chosen in its period between regenerations, but you can recall exactly how fast this thing likes to grow. It is not able to break through the stone, though. It continuously slams into it, but your cage is holding tight. But
Nice.
let's see, 1D. One of these days I'll learn how to type. So it starts, it heals for 4 points. You notice that it grows considerably as it continues to slam itself against the bars. Without the hydrochloric acid burning away at its flesh, this immortal creature only continues to grow larger and larger, the rotted flesh continuing to sew itself back together as the bone rapidly begins to be subsumed by the repairing muscle fibers. But any further repairs will have to wait until after Jackalope's turn goes through.
So Jack's just sitting there. He's been thinking, and he's just gonna look at it for a second. Look at everyone in the party. He realized it said we needed to survive. It never said we couldn't leave.
Do you have a way to leave?
If everything that we mimic becomes real in this space, that means a door to leave if you mimic it will become real.
Do you want to
At
go
least-
ahead and try it?
I don't see why not. It's worth it.
Okay.
It's worth an attempt because he never stated that we couldn't leave. He simply said
Oh.
we had to survive.
That is
The rules
correct.
that we understand is that anything we mimic becomes true. Therefore, a door to leave, at least for Jackalope in that moment, would become true if he mimicked it properly. So the way Jackalope would do it would be a genuine goodbye. And then the act of opening a door and walking through.
Quick question. We wouldn't happen to have some sort of bot that plays a thing real quick, right? Not in this channel?
Except for the sound effects.
We have not added any sound effects to the Discord.
There's just a soundboard that you can use.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That one, that was a little bit loud, wasn't it?
Oh, sorry. Yours has your really up. Mine's not that loud.
Yeah. I just asked because there's a. How do you
You want
upload
to play
to
an
a soundboard?
incorrect buzzer?
Aha. I swear it makes sense.
It's okay.
We got this. I believe
That
in
is
you.
so loud.
Wally's trying to think outside the box for all of us.
No, Jackalope's just more concerned with his own survival than yours.
Sad face.
Jackalope's also learning the rules of this game, because if this is outside the rules, he now knows it going into his next action.
Why won't it let me name the sound?
Because
This is
remember, we
annoying.
haven't been told any of the actual rules. We've been learning them as we go.
Mhm.
And the only thing we've been told is survive. So this is Jackalope's way of living. If you don't know if you can win a situation, then leave the situation.
It could be.
If we're not allowed to leave, that's another rule that we are given. If we cannot mimic our way out of the situation and we have to complete the entire situation in the manner that he wishes, therefore, that's a rule that we now are aware of.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Does
I see.
anyone know how to name a sound effect?
Nope.
With words, probably.
Because it's not working on my end.
Oh.
Well, I
I-
might just have to choose not to use it.
Oh,
Ah, darn.
add sound. Jumpchain. Add sound. Choose a file. Sound name.
Oh, there we
You
go.
can just
Now
use
it's
it.
decided to suddenly start working for no reason.
Oh,
Cool. I love
that's like
technology. It may be a bit loud. I'm just giving everyone a heads up because it's really loud on my end.
do it.
Okay. So you're saying that you're miming opening a door in order to a door to the outside, you say.
Correct.
Okay.
Because
You mime
Jackalope's
the
also giving the action of saying goodbye.
say goodbye, you mime the opening of the door, and sure enough, your hand grasps around an old brass knob as the rest of the doorway manifests itself in your vision as well. Do you open it?
Correct.
As you open it up, the jester snaps his fingers, and immediately
Oh.
you hear that sound echo throughout. The door leads somewhere else, as the only way you could describe it is it must be the infinite knife dimension.
Nah.
It explodes a large number of bladed instruments immediately out of the door towards your body as you open it. I'm gonna have you roll endurance.
Jackie, don't open a door to the time knife. This isn't the time knife.
Not great.
Oh
Go ahead
no.
and roll me 2d6 for how much energy you absorb from these knives, because either way, it is a good amount of damage. Okay, you bank a full success off of that, as you take 7 points of damage that rips through a good chunk of your body. Sorry, but you're not allowed to leave early from this game.
Jackalope's gonna look at him, but you never told us that. You never stated the rules.
You're right, I didn't.
You simply told us to survive. Leaving is surviving.
Oh, not through that door, it's not.
Hmm.
Really, it seems to me like you just need to pick and choose your doors a bit more carefully.
But what fun is there in non-random chance?
Guys, you're feeding the angel.
Yeah,
Shush.
many of the knives clang and clamor across the ground, feeding
Mm.
it far more than any words could.
Katie does that kind of like zipping mouth shut thing and then proceeds to zip her own mouth shut.
The zipper quickly manifests across your face.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm getting like so many ideas now. Oh, I'm excited. Come on, I'm excited. I like this one,
Yeah.
but also terrified. I don't like this. Oh no.
Actually, Jack, you still have a minor action if you'd like to take it in some way. Something not as big as a normal full thing.
Hmm.
Oh, Jack, he like split himself up. What if you do something to yourself, like get big or something?
Jackalope kind of puts his hand on his chin for a second. And he looks at the mime, or jester, whatever people are calling it, because Jackalope's not sure what he is. And he holds up his hand in a ready position, other arm behind his back. His posture straightens, and that is his minor action for now. And it will
You're just
bleed him
extending your arm.
in an upwards motion, kind of like in a 90-degree angle. upwards. His other arm pushes itself behind his back, his robotic arm, his posture straightens, and he curls most of his hand except for 2 fingers into a pointed upward position, and he leaves himself like that.
Okay.
And
I
will
don't know what
explain
you're
it.
doing, but
I'll explain in a full action what fully he's doing. But no, this is a minor actions he's taking, as he is technically readying something. But I'll explain it in a full action so that these two bleed together better in a bit.
That's
Okay.
the suspense.
Then for now, we'll move into the turn of the tall creature.
Uh-oh.
Now, here's the thing. Katie said to not look at it. Now, to make sure, Jack, did you look away from it?
Jack was never looking at it to begin with, so.
Good. Hunter, did you look at it? Your mic good? Your mic good?
Hunter died. He looked at it.
Is
Yeah.
muted?
Okay, well, first, Katie, did you look at it?
No.
No, you did not. Good. Did he die? Is he dead?
I mean, I can try and hop upstairs to check if he's still alive.
No, we'll just assume he looked
Yeah.
away. Now the question
Yeah.
is, Lynn, did you look away?
Hopefully, never looked at it.
I suppose the biggest question, though, is how can you look away with all of the senses you've got?
Oh, don't do me like this.
Oh.
The SCP, specifically, if someone knows what it looks like, it will hunt them down. You have the ability to sense a lot of things. What I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you roll perception, and your goal is to get 0 successes.
Oh.
That's
Reverse sense
impossible.
roll.
Oh, it can happen. It can happen.
It
A
can
blessing
happen.
can happen. Oh no.
Because basically you're trying to shut off your own perception of it, which is a little bit tricky when you've got as many benefits as you do.
Come on, let's just stop thinking. Stop thinking. Oh my gosh! I thought
That
a little
is-
too late.
That is
No.
good. That's good. That's good. A
No.
0 or less, you are able to barely avoid it. You silence every part of your senses that you can. You turn that into a null zone, and you do not recognize its form.
Yes.
Instead, you can hear the sound of its jaw clicking as it extends more and more open.
Oh my
But
gosh.
nobody looked at it. It passes its turn. Lynn, it's your move.
Oh, okay.
Did I see Hunter?
I'm
Did Hunter
excited.
go?
I'm excited, but I'm scared. So I'm gonna, Lene, obviously facing away from this guy who is very creepily trying to gang up on her. She fakes seeing something up in the sky. She puts her hand over her eyes and is staring way up in the sky, and then her eyes grow wide as if she caught something. She's pointing at it, and then she starts like waving her hands and kind of like jumping and freaking out as something larger and larger and larger comes like crushing down, heading right for him. It's a huge meteorite in the sky, and it's gonna fall on top of the guy and the bird. As she goes and she tries to duck down and cover behind the wall.
Okay. It is going to come down, and we're going to get the reactions from them. So you're not going to roll for that because honestly, that just works.
Yay!
You're able to mime the idea of a large meteorite coming down. The first movement comes from the hard to destroy lizard. He rolls pretty good. The second movement comes from the largely stationary tall man, who does not roll so good.
But the lizard's in a cage. But yeah,
That is correct. It's not very good, but it is getting a benefit. Meanwhile, we have the core person itself. The jester, rather than panicking or anything like that, looks up, then moves his hands away from the growing angel and mimes pulling out an umbrella and holds it over the top of his head, maintaining direct eye contact with Lynn as the meteor slams down and crashes.
Oh,
The Jester takes no damage. The hard-to-destroy lizard curls itself into a ball near one of the corners, and the massive cage absorbs the bulk of the damage. The tall man, however, takes the full damage. And because this is a novel thing, and it takes 14
Oh my
points of
gosh!
damage in one shot, as you can hear
Yay!
bones crush and skin sever open.
Oy, oy, oy. Well, I didn't like
Katie?
that, but okay.
Katie's actually gonna be pretty concerned because how much noise did that make?
Oh, so much noise.
Oh,
It was a
oops.
meteoric crash.
Oh, sorry, Katie.
She glares at you.
That was some good damage, though, as the Jester shakes out his umbrella a little bit, chunks
I
of
thought it was
stone
gonna.
falling off of it, as he then
I
steals
thought
it
it was
back
gonna kill the
and then
bird.
throws it.
No, it's all good. That was really cool, but like
Yeah.
Katie is very concerned.
I had hoped it would have gotten the bird, but it's okay.
Yeah. Now it is Hunter's move, and I really hope he's back. Does anyone have the Purgatory chat, or the Purgatory Twitch open?
Yeah, I do.
Um,
He's just quiet. He may have got called away or something.
Ah,
No, I can go pop over real quick.
yeah, go stealth
He's
attack
like
him.
Yeah, because he's
Yeah.
like a floor off from me.
yeah. Go ahead and do a quick jump check.
All right, stall with antics.
Yeah. The Jester looks across. The group's like, very interesting choice of maneuver. I'm afraid you're making the clock run a little bit faster, though.
She looks a little ashamed. Like,
The broken creature slowly begins to move its body upwards and try to stand up. Oh, welcome. There you are.
What?
What? We haven't been able to hear Sin at all.
Am I muted?
you were just really quiet, bro.
Oh, I was listening. I could have sworn you were talking to Cat.
No, I said it was Hunter's turn a couple of times.
Weird. Sorry, I
Yeah.
guess my brain is only half on at the moment.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We were asking you a whole bunch of times before, but yeah, it's your move now.
Wild. All right. Sorry. Apparently, I guess the trip for the last couple of hours just slurred my attention. Jesus.
That's fine. Just let's continue.
That was
Nice to have
wild.
you back.
All right. Cool. Sorry about that,
Oh,
guys. Real quick, give me a very brief sentence summary.
Lynn dropped a meteor on them.
It was a little loud, so that was my bad. I wasn't thinking that. I was just excited. I got too excited. Sorry.
Nah, that's fair.
Very nice. Am I still wrapped up in rope?
Yes.
All right. Let's see. He's bound. He dropped a meteor on them. Did that affect any of us?
Nope.
No. I did not cast fireball in the room. All right.
I'm truly
Strategically,
shook.
I did a little better.
All right. Let's see. Jackalope, what's your positioning?
Jackalope is currently sitting at a seemingly ready position. No one's sure why.
Interesting. Okay. And how far away are we from the clown?
Probably about 30 feet.
Interesting. Okay. He is going to. How the hell is he going to get out of these ropes? He's going to like kind of wiggle his hand up and then like kind of press against one of the ropes. But then he's just don't like gently press, and then he's don't act as if the rope became super loose. Just try to like pull it away from him, and then it's just pretend it drops around him with a slightly surprised face.
Well,
Does that work?
Unfortunately, the ropes manifested into real ropes after they were spawned.
Oh shit, they're actual ropes? Ah, well.
They are now.
Wow,
All of the things have slowly been becoming real each time. The door that Jack opened manifested as a brass doorknob door that he was able to open up and show. The cage manifested as a solid hewn stone thing, and the meteor that crashed down really did hit the ground.
Surprised there was no shockwave. He's all like kind of shimmy over to his what was his halberd, and just pretty much rub the rope against his blade, and pretty much just like kind of slice him in half.
Okie doke, that should not be too hard. Go ahead and make me a dexterity roll in order to be able to
Okay.
do that in a reasonable amount of time. So you're just doing a quick sidle.
Wow.
You're able to get yourself free, but it does take you the entirety of your turn.
All right, I'll be then my turn.
Yes. We'll say you could have just mimed the motion of cutting through it on a fake blade.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
fair point. I was thinking like
Yes.
his arms were pinned to his side from it being a critical, so he couldn't do anything.
Yeah. But as it is, it moves to the next person's turn, which is the main core creature.
Mm-hmm.
He looks across the rest of the group, the umbrella having clattered behind him, as he just slowly seems to think over what his next action will be. Before a light bulb randomly just fully appears above his head and illuminates. And he looks with a smug smile and holds his action. Katie, it's your move.
Okay. All right. Okay, this is really hard, actually.
Oh, no sound. How to do it with no sound?
Yeah, that's the tricky part, isn't it? Okay, so where is the tall man in the room right now? What is the tall guy doing? Is he dead?
He's not dead. He's slowly pulling himself back to a standing position. That's an excellent question. By the way, the mechanic for this creature is whenever you ask what he's doing, you have to roll. You have to roll 2d6.
Oh, I'm
Because-
not paying attention to
okay.
it.
Right.
'Cause
I
you're-
should have specified.
You're trying to look at it without seeing its face, meaning that you need to roll
Yeah.
2d6.
Ooh.
That's a net 0.
Whoa.
So,
But I am an SCP researcher.
You're right.
Do...
I will let you roll a bonus dice specifically because you are trained for this. And if it's not a 1, that is
Yeah.
a degree of success.
Yeah,
You avoid
yeah.
seeing its face this time.
Okay.
You can tell that it's slowly pulling itself up and back into position. Broken bones and shattered organs seem to make up the majority of its body. It seems distressed and in a considerable amount of damage, but it's not terminated.
Yeah. Okay. But because if I recall right, it doesn't attack you. Because I don't know whether like its form is, and can I just kind of like walk like through clickers to kind of like approach the cage?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
And I'm not just moving towards the cage. If you're moving carefully to avoid getting yourself injured, things like that, it'll be a minor action. You still have your full action.
Okay. All right. I'm going to begin to construct like a sort of like a barrier around the cage with like a hole on like the top.
So in order to make a hole in the cage, you'll actually have to break through the
Well,
stone.
not like the hole in the cage, but I'm going to like construct like a barrier, kind of like a glass sort of like panes around it, like Minecraft style.
Okay. I will allow that. Yes.
Yeah,
You're able
yeah.
to make glass panes in the area around it.
Very good. Okay. Is that the whole action?
I would say that yes, you're able to create the whole glass cube around it just by miming the thing. And if you want it to be all 4 walls, yes, it will be your action.
Okay. Yep. Yep.
To succeed or?
The cage is holding it.
Mm.
Fine. Do I have to roll for that?
For what?
Oh, for the glass thing. I don't think I have to roll for that, right?
You don't
'Cause
have to
it's
roll
just
for it. No,
construction.
you're
Yes.
able to
No.
mime it. You're able to roll it. All you're able to do was the 4 walls, but in that case, you didn't need a
Mhm.
roll.
Yep. Okay, cool.
The creature will start its turn by slowly pulling itself back up, and you see its body continue to stitch itself back together, healing another. That was 2d6. That's supposed to be 1d6, right? Or did I do 2d6 before? No, I did 1d4 plus 2. That's why. And it heals for exactly 4 again. It's now healed a total of 8 points, and it seems bigger as it rears back and throws itself against the cage again. It's bigger, it's stronger, and it rolls 3 dice now. It slams, and the stone gives way immediately, having been massively weakened by the impact of the meteor. It throws itself forward, and it slams into the glass, which now looks heavily cracked. It raises its paws in order to slam into it further, and is pressing against them, and it's going to give way momentarily, but it would have taken a critical success to break through multiple layers of protection, and it didn't quite reach that. So it is
Okay.
instead Jackalope's turn, as you have a
Alright.
thin barrier between you and him.
Good job, Katie.
So he pulled things from his mind. Jackalope's been sitting in this position for this entire turn. As soon as he finished what he did. And you see his feet quietly but swiftly click together when everyone's action completes.
Oh,
As you
have
see
you seen that film?
as you see him turn, and his eyes are dead. He's turning sideways. So the people around him are very clearly visible of him. His eyes aren't looking at any of you. I assume that someone is off to his side to some degree, probably Hunter or Katie or Lynn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And his arm shoots down towards his chest in a salute to someone else. There's no noise coming from Jack. It is silent. It is efficient. It is quick. As you see him begin to quietly pick up the knives on the ground. And he seems to be handing them to people.
Oh, okay. I think I might know where you're going with this. Faceless
What?
figures in black and white manifest, and they hold the knives.
And almost subconsciously, you see Jack reach for his chest. And you hear the ever so slight twang of dog tags.
Okay. Dog
Amongst-
tags manifest on all of their chests as well.
And he looks at one of them, walks up to it quietly, and he acts like he's pulling out a pair of glasses and putting it on his face, making his original version. The original him. Who doesn't look like the jackalope you know.
Okay.
Because at the same time, the creature never stated what he was making. He was simply pulling things. Meaning in this space, at least one of the rules Jackalope's somewhat figured out, is that we can pull things from who we are. Or rather, the memories that he can see. He's looking into our heads, at least somewhat, given he saw that Jackalope doesn't know what he is. Not really.
Yeah.
Jackalope,
In this case,
this,
in this instance, your surface thoughts are manifesting. Yes.
yeah. And for Jackalope, you're seeing people. All of them handed a knife. And amongst them, someone that looks vaguely like Jack. But the exact same eyes, a thick pair of glasses, scars covering his nose, his face, and his arms, and 5 other figures next to him. And Jack, the Jack that you know, simply takes his hand from under his coat, puts a finger to his mouth, says nothing, salutes, and points to the enemy.
Every single one of the soldiers snaps a salute back in unison and begin to charge. The heavy sounds of the boots slamming against the ground is practically deafening, as they descend sharply on the enemy. Now, many of them see the face of the tall creature, but it's not like they were going for a non-aggression path anyway. Now, I'm going to roll. Let's see. What was the size of your platoon?
The full platoon or
The
the
full
bombs?
platoon.
The full. Hold on, I gotta actually. I have this written in
Dang.
the lore stuff.
Yeah. Hey, you bring out your lore stuff. I am so happy to work with you.
Let me find it. It's pretty old at this point, but I gotta go find it. But at
Yeah.
least there were 6 bomb squad members. Above bomb squad, there was 1 marine. Off memory. Let's see. I gotta find it. It's so old at this point. Let's see. Infantry.
Yeah. Well, while you look that up, I will do some narration, but I won't roll until I have the numbers. But all of them start charging forward. Many of them descend directly upon the tall guy. Many of them, they shoulder through the glass barriers and immediately start shredding at the Hard to Destroy lizard. It's clear that they can't kill it, but they are shaving off more than a bit of that healed up flesh.
Yeah. So past Jackalope. So I found the number. It is so past Jackalope in his copy. There are 5 bomb defusal, 15 infantrymen. Infantrymen. I can't English. If you're wanting the whole thing, there are tanks.
Well, it's only going to be the human members,
Yeah,
and I need
so-
an exact number of how many humans are currently.
So there were 15 infantrymen, 28 able-bodied people that made up the tank squad. So they're not going to be as efficient as the rest. 6 bomb squad people, 4 snipers, and 2 marines.
Okay, you said 6, 4, 2, and 25 plus Jack.
Yep.
So that's 13, 25, 38. 38, they're all trained soldiers, so I'm going to go ahead and roll 2 dice for each of them. I said 38, that's going to be 38 times 2 is 76? No, right? Yes. That's 76.
Yeah, mind you, the jackalope that the team knows doesn't move from that point, except back sideways into a salute, looking away from it.
Dang.
Okay. Now, that
Jesus
261
Christ.
damage is distributed equally amongst each of them. You deal about 87. Is that right? Yeah, that's 87 points of damage to to each of them. So your entire platoon surges across them. The hard to destroy lizard is reduced to bone. It's not dead, but it's shredded. Katie, you have seen less efficient work done by MTF units in the past as they continue to carve and cut. You watch you watch several of them get literally eviscerated at the hands of the large man, but there are more bodies than it knows what to do with. And when they start falling down at its feet, they start burying it in their bleeding bodies just to give their allies enough time to continue stabbing.
Oh my gosh.
So, okay.
Now,
Alright, hold on. I have to think about Katie's reaction to this because, like, I have to think about how many many of these sorts of situations she saw in the SCP Foundation with
Yeah.
Katie's
Normally-
stuff.
Horrifying.
normally the D-class soldiers are not so fervent in the way that they throw themselves into the wood chipper. These people seem almost excited to do this. They are not excited as in happy, but that this is what they simply were made for, what they were trained for. This is the meaning of their life. They were born for this moment where they die for what they stand for. The angel continues to shred and eat into them, but so many of them circle around and pin down the clown, who looks more shocked than anything else.
Oh my gosh.
The knives
This
start
is
swinging
horrifying.
down, and all you can see is the huge mass of huddled bodies, all in time, sequentially swinging down their knives in perfect time to make it so that at no point is there less than 6 knives inside of the chest at any given time. It is metronomic the way that they all swing in sequence to maximize efficacy. And Jack, you were just standing there. You were watching every single one of them go wailing down, literally slaughtering each and every enemy, taking more than triple the amount of health that you would normally have.
Note, Jackalop's face is not stone, by the way, in this moment. There is legitimate pain sitting upon this man's face. The first real emotion you've seen, legitimate regret.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just
Holes.
watching as these people are killed in front of her, a bloodbath.
Yeah.
Or
Monochrome
drawn across her
blood.
face.
Yeah, monochrome blood splashes across your outfit and your face, and the vast majority of the big top floor around you, and not a single one of you is going to come out without splatterings of blood across your entire body.
My God.
The meat grinder finally lets up after a while, and there are probably only about 6 people left. As the Hard to Destroy lizard took out a lot, the tall man was the one that killed the most out of them. With a close second being the angel that simply kept feeding. But as the clown simply kept getting stabbed, the images around you, everything started to flicker, and holes began to appear in the big top around you. Everything starts to fall apart, and a moment later, you're still covered in monochromatic blood. But all of the bodies are gone. And you see Honey drop down several inches from the air as she hits the ground, and immediately takes a big... She looks up, and there's genuine surprise as she sees all of you. Most of you looking pretty fine, honestly. You got through taking very little damage.
Except the trauma over my face.
Yeah, you look haunted.
I think
You
she's gonna go throw up. That is way too much. She has to go off.
You just got PTSD from freaking Jackalope's PTSD.
Yeah. You're all gonna see Jack like walk forward towards where the technical bloodbath just happened. And you see him raise his hands like he's conducting an orchestra for a moment. His face going back from that pained expression to serene and calm as he's miming one last thing.
Okay.
And you're not sure what. But for the people familiar, you could swear he's humming Claire de Lune.
As that wraps up, you see Honey looking forward, and she voices her surprise as she says, I didn't realize you'd be able to win like that.
Are they are like the struct are is everything still like there?
The whole big top is gone. All of the creatures are gone. The only thing that's left to
Okay,
prove his
right.
existence is the literal shreds that the Grim was torn into, and an
Right.
insane amount of monochromatic blood.
Right, yes. Okay, so Katie's going to mime pouring hydrochloric acid on the thing that was originally there a few seconds ago.
Understandable.
Oh.
It doesn't make any sound or anything, as it seems the source of that power is gone. But it makes you feel better.
Yeah. Like she's like kind of like shaking and stuff. She's not looking at anything in particular.
Yeah. At that, Honey slowly gets up and is like, okay, I guess I can explain things later. For now, we're not far from the village. We need to get there quickly. You notice that her even after having landed, her hand has been on her right side this entire time, as she seems to be holding it tight. We should get there quickly.
Are you
Agreed.
all right?
You have supernatural senses. Go ahead and roll me perception. Jack, you have personal experience with this. Hunter, you don't have experience with humans in this instance. And Katie, I don't think that it's gonna net 0. Okay. So Jack, if you want to roll, go ahead, and your specific expertise would mean that you'd get a bonus dice.
And this is for what?
Perception or sense.
Okay.
Okay, the bonus
think
dice
Katie's-
doesn't count as a negative, so 0, 0. What were you saying, Katie?
I think Katie's still pouring hydrochloric acid.
Understandable. And Hunter, you're not familiar with reading people as well as you are creatures.
Nope.
So she moves fairly quickly and cuts a quick path, and you're able to advance through. And fortunately, you are actually able to hear the sounds of what you're quite confident is humans this time. And it is the sounds of a raucous party. Laughter, singing. There's cheering all around you as you step into a much more open area, and you can see large walls there. The doors are thrown wide open, and you can see a lot of people eating, drinking, and making merry within the village that is simply known as Strav. But what happens within the walls of the village of Strav itself is to be found out next time on RWBY Terminal Season.
Indeed. Join us
People are
for
partying.
join us for hopefully next week at about 7 p.m. PST, assuming everything goes properly and nothing dies in weird ways. And if you guys want to check
Again.
out the rest of our stuff or our socials or anything of that sort, go down below or check out our Discord where everything is over there. In the meantime, we're going to be doing a raid to my friend Roxas the Oathkeeper. I've raided him a few times. But we're going to go ahead and go and raid him real quick. He's playing Town of Salem with a couple of folks that we also know from the channel, Songbird's Tavern, Bunny Q, and I believe his wife Lissar as well. So we're going to go and rate them. Feel free to grab the first one if you guys are following, the second one if you guys are subscribed, and we are going to go give them a very friendly hello as they are going to be, I don't know, possibly dying, possibly living, possibly surviving. Apparently, there's a difference between two of them based on what Jackalope just. But in either case, we're going to see what we can do. All right. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll see all of you fine folks next time. Bye.
Bye.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Arrivederci.